Hello again, Michael Kaiser here, and in this segment we're going to prepare the location of this slim fit boiler by Weil-McLain. One thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have the boiler manual. It's very important. Everything you need to know about this boiler is in this manual, and let's make sure we use it to its full benefits. When we open this manual up on that page that we're working with, we prepare the boiler location. One of the main things you want to work with is make sure that you've handled your local codes and you're following your local codes and any kind of state laws that might apply to you in your location. That's number one. Again, also telling you your National Fuel Gas Code and any other codes that your particular state might want you to follow. It's extremely important. Check with your local inspectors, check with your local municipalities, and be sure that you understand everything that's needed of you and of the job site and the location that you're working with. Everything you need is in this manual, like I mentioned before. It goes over, it's a pretty good checklist for you, and when you're preparing that location, you want to check for what might seem silly to you, but I've seen it all before. Check to make sure there's nobody storing gasoline next to your boiler. I mean, it sounds silly, I know, but there's some of the things. Make sure you have the right electrical power coming to your boiler. What's nice about this boiler, it's 115 volts, 20 amp circuit is what you're dealing with on the boiler itself. Circulators are going to take other components and other electricity that we'll talk about in other segments. So make sure that's good. Again, drain for condensate. Your high efficiency condensing boiler is going to condense, and it's going to condense a lot, and you need to be able to recoup that condensate or have a proper location for its disposal. So that's something else you need to be aware of. And again, utilize your manual to help you with that. Flooring or foundation. Now, this boiler is designed to be set up on a combustible floor. However, not carpet like we have here in the studio. Not a good thing. However, if the flooring is uneven or it's not to your liking, a nice pad would be suitable for this application. The minimum size is 33 by 75, and again, it's right here in the manual, or 33 by 87 for the 2 million BTU boiler. 2 inches above the floor is a minimum for the pad thickness as well. Now, as far as your clearances, again, in the manual, your clearances are right here for you, and this is where you want to work with. On the top of the boiler, you're only looking at 18 inches. You want to maintain clearances there. Now, on the front of the boiler, you want to make sure you're going to maintain 24 inches to be able to access and service, and on the piping end of the boiler, 12 inches to be able to access that end of the heat exchanger. Now, your side here, where your cleanouts are, and again, easy access, toolless entry, your cleanout, we need 36 inches because you need some room for yourself and for anything you need to get in there to help clean the boiler with. And again, it's simple maintenance, but at least give yourself 36 inches on that to do it. Now, if I haven't mentioned, this solar control can also be relocated to the back of the boiler here. So from this side to this side, the panels are interchangeable, not a problem there. So be aware of your clearances, prepare the location of your boiler, which means make sure the flooring is good again. Make sure we're not storing any flammable conditions or liquids or anything that can harm the boiler. Especially if you're direct exhausting and you're bringing in the combustion air from this location, you have to make sure that nothing is in the air that's going to harm your boiler. Because if that draws it in, that could be a problem for your boiler down the road. So be aware of that location. Now, if your plan is to install the boiler with multiple boiler applications, again, make sure you have your manual with you. It helps discuss your footprint and what's going on. And earlier in some of the segments, you might have noticed that I said we have left-hand and right-hand boilers. Well, here's one of the main reasons why. That way you can utilize a left-hand and a right-hand boiler with the piping coming all out the same side. The boilers can be, because we have zero clearances on the one side of the boiler, so we can put the boilers side by side, all piping coming out on one end, making it a little bit more convenient for you to install the boilers in a multiple boiler application. And again, I can't stress enough to be aware of your local and state codes for clearances around the boiler. Some applications might have to be changed up because of those laws and state and local codes. So, other thing I want to mention is ventilation in the room. We also mentioned in past segments, and again, this is part of preparing the boiler location, because you have to be aware of your fresh air intake. Are you direct venting, or are you going to direct exhaust? Well, if you're going to direct exhaust, meaning one pipe, one exhaust pipe to the outside, and your fresh combustion air is being brought in from the basement, you have to realize, are there other equipment in the room? Do you have other oxygen-eating appliances that might take away from the room? So you need to be aware of that and have the proper combustion air entering that room. Again, check with your national fuel gas codes, check with your local and state codes to be aware of those situations. Now, if you are direct venting two pipes, if you are direct venting with two pipes, meaning that all your combustion air is being brought in from the outside, and you have no other appliances in that room, then you don't need combustion air openings. This unit is a sealed combustion component. It brings all its fresh air from outside if it's direct vented, meaning your fresh air pipe is hooked up and your exhaust flue pipe is also hooked up. You don't need to have any additional openings in the room located with the boiler if you're direct venting. Okay? That's some good stuff that we need to know. Thank you so much.